The bustling city of Boston stood as a testament to American history and culture, a vibrant blend of old-world charm and modern innovation. Known for its cobblestone streets, iconic landmarks, and renowned educational institutions, Boston exuded a sense of community that was felt most strongly during its annual tradition, the Boston Marathon. This illustrious event, which had been running since 1897, drew runners from around the world to test their endurance and determination on the streets of this historic city. The marathon was more than just a race. It was a symbol of unity, a celebration of human achievement, and a demonstration of the city's unwavering spirit. The route, lined with cheering spectators, showcased the best of Boston's traditions and camaraderie. Amidst the anticipation and excitement that built up to the marathon, a dark cloud loomed in the form of the Tsarnaev brothers, Jakar and Tamerlan. Born in Kyrgyzstan and raised in the diverse city of Cambridge, Massachusetts, the brothers had embarked on a journey that would eventually intersect with the very heart of Boston. Influenced by extremist ideologies and drawn into the allure of radicalization, their path diverged drastically from the typical immigrant narrative. The complexity of their transformation lay in the myriad factors that shaped their worldview. The Tsarnaev brothers found themselves becoming increasingly isolated from the society that had initially embraced them. Their once ordinary lives were now intertwined with a growing web of extremist ideas, leading them down a dangerous path. On April 15, 2013, dawned with an air of anticipation in Boston, a day that would normally be marked by celebration, unity, and determination. The city was alive with excitement as runners from all walks of life prepared to participate in the revered Boston Marathon. Families lined the streets, cheering on loved ones and strangers alike, while volunteers worked tirelessly to ensure the event's success. As the race unfolded, the jubilant atmosphere was abruptly shattered by two deafening explosions near the marathon's finish line on Boylston Street. The force of the blasts sent shockwaves through the crowds, causing immediate chaos and panic. Spectators who had gathered to celebrate the runners' achievements were now fleeing in all directions, their faces etched with fear and confusion. The bombings left a scene of devastation in their wake. Smoke billowed into the air, obscuring the iconic landmarks that had once stood tall. Shattered glass, debris, and the cries of the wounded painted a grim tableau against the backdrop of a city that had been wounded in an instant. As the dust settled, the enormity of the tragedy became painfully clear. The blasts had taken the lives of 3 individuals: 8-year-old Martin Richard, 29-year-old Crystal Campbell, and 23-year-old Lou Lindsay. More than 260 others were injured, some gravely, their lives forever changed by the events that unfolded on that fateful day. Law enforcement agencies immediately mobilized to determine the source of the explosions and to bring those responsible to justice. Amid the chaos and uncertainty, the spirit of unity that had always defined Boston began to shine through. Strangers helped one another, offering shelter, support, and solace to those who had been affected by the tragedy. Social media platforms became avenues for individuals to connect, share information, and aid those in need. In the early hours of April 19, 2013, the focus of the investigation shifted dramatically. A series of events unfolded in rapid succession as a surveillance image released by law enforcement showed two individuals, later identified as the Tsarnaev brothers, approaching the marathon finish line carrying backpacks believed to contain the homemade pressure cooker bombs. As dawn broke, chaos erupted anew in the city. Reports of a shootout, explosions, and the murder of a Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, police officer, Sean Collier, spread rapidly. The Tsarnaev brothers were on the move, engaging in a violent confrontation with law enforcement officers as they attempted to escape the encroaching net of justice. Tamerlan, 26, was killed in the ensuing shootout with Boston authorities, while Jakar managed to flee the scene, leaving a city on edge and a trail of bloodshed in his wake. The city of Boston responded with a swift and unparalleled lockdown. Public transportation was halted, businesses shuttered, and residents were urged to stay indoors as law enforcement agencies embarked on a massive manhunt for the surviving suspect. The city transformed into a ghost town in the grip of uncertainty. The search for Jakar Tsarnaev was relentless, spanning neighborhoods, parks, and buildings. It was a resident of Watertown, a suburb of Boston, who eventually provided the critical lead that led to Jakar's discovery. The aftermath of the Boston Marathon bombing cast a long shadow over the city, its residents, and the nation as a whole. The echoes of the explosions may have faded, but the impact of those harrowing days continued to reverberate through the lives of survivors, the families of victims, and a community forever changed. Survivors faced not only the physical challenges of recovery, but also the psychological scars left by the traumatic events. The legal process that followed was equally complex. Jakar Tsarnaev, captured after a citywide manhunt, faced charges that carried the weight of the lives lost and the pain inflicted. His trial, held in a federal court in Boston, was a tense and emotional affair, as survivors, witnesses, and families of victims recounted their experiences, providing a searing portrait of the human toll of the bombings. The verdict, the unanimous guilty verdict on multiple counts, was met with a mix of relief and sorrow. In the end, Tsarnaev was sentenced to death for his role in the attacks, sparking debates about the ethical implications of capital punishment and the pursuit of justice. Beyond the courtroom, the bombings prompted broader conversations about security, counterterrorism efforts, and the balance between civil liberties and national security. Public events underwent significant changes, with heightened security measures becoming the norm. The attacks were a stark reminder of the evolving threat landscape and the need for a vigilant and collaborative response. The resilience of the Boston community stood as a beacon of hope, inspiring individuals and cities around the world in the face of adversity. Annual commemorations of the marathon bombings served as reminders of the lives lost and the strength of the survivors. The city's determination to heal, rebuild, and move forward was evident in the memorials erected in honor of the victims and the enduring support networks that emerged. "10 years since the 2013 attack, Jakar's lawyers still stand firm on their argument that while it was the siblings who set off the 2 bombs that killed the 3 fatalities and hurt the other victims, it was Tamerlan who radicalized his younger brother, who was only 19 years old then. Tamerlan was the mastermind of the attack, they maintained. And with that, we have come to the end of our video. Please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and click that notification bell. This has been saying, see you next time.